Do you want to be kind of easily and pleasantly distracted every single day and kind of creep forward very slowly? Or do you want to like identify that as a weakness, set it aside so you can take giant steps forward and move faster than the rest of the herd and kind of get a head start? Hey guys, I wanted to address something that I feel can kind of separate successful people from people who kind of are stuck in one place, and that is how to defeat distractions to get shit done. I'm not talking about any type of shit. I'm talking about like those big tasks, those overwhelming tasks that kind of just overload your brain and instead make your brain look for like little things that it can focus on instead because it just doesn't know what to do. It's something that I am continuously learning how to do better. It's something that I was terrible at when I was in school. I would probably spend 95% of my time when I was working on my university work, browsing the internet, on social media, anything that made it possible to avoid the work that I knew I needed to do. And I feel understanding yourself, understanding how your brain works, and understanding how to overcome that is one of the biggest keys to success because it allows you to actually get the important work done that makes a difference, get the ball rolling to allow those emotions to follow the actions, and that's what it's all about. And I want to tell you about kind of the way I've figured out over the many years on how to overcome that systematically. Here we go. So as we all know, modern life is full of lovely, pleasant, and instantaneous distractions, especially with the internet available at any given moment in time on our phone, on our computer. Humans have never had it easier to find pleasant distractions that allow them to avoid the difficult work that they need to do to move forward in life the way they would like to. You know, these addictive distractions like Facebook, it's an addiction. It's an instantaneous sort of reward, that little red icon, the notification. It's become sort of the symbol for distraction, I feel, in the modern age. As soon as we wake up, it's something I talked about in episode 1, something that I really had to unlearn. It was very difficult because I realized I was very addicted, and that was just sort of slot machine effect where you turn on your phone and you see how many new messages you have, how many, likes you have, how many emails you have, how many missed calls and all that stuff. And it feels like a reward. That's how our brain reacts. It releases dopamine because we don't know what we're going to see. Bam! And all these things. So that's something that I have decided to remove from my life completely. My phone is not only is it always upside down wherever I put it, it's permanently on silent, and except if my mom calls. And I have every single notification turned off. So whenever I turn it on, there is just a blank screen. I've deconditioned my brain from expecting some sort of reward anytime I turn it on. You'll see people just turning on their phones, just glancing, hoping they get something. It's an addiction. It's something you want to get rid of if you want to become more effective at doing things. And it's such a simple little life hack. Our attention is the modern currency in the tech world these days. Every company is just fighting for your eyeballs to be stuck to the screen because they get to show you more ads and make more money. And so they do anything possible to make you keep coming back to their apps just so they could display you more ads. I'm in the ads business and I'm quite aware of how all this works, and it's just as simple as that. Eyeball time on screen equals more money. I fight that by just turning it all off. You can too. It's such a simple thing. And so when you wake up in the morning, I bet 95% of you watching this right now, first thing you do is check your phone. You lay there kind of scrolling through the notifications, your messages, you get on Facebook, see what's up. There's several reasons you want to cut that out of your life. The first, something I mentioned in the first episode, is that it sets you up for the whole day to be in sort of reactive mode where you're reacting to stimuli coming from the outside, from other people, things that people want and require your response to, instead of kind of just waking up and having the whole day kind of a blank slate which you define what happens on that blank slate instead of waking up with a slate that already has items listed on it that you need to address, that you feel the need to address. The emails can wait. You gotta kind of figure out what it is that your currency is. I've realized that my focus and my attention is really the only thing that I have. And if I start kind of handing it out to everybody, I'm left with very little for myself, for me to spend on the things that really matter for me, that I really need to do to move forward in my personal and my professional life. So you got to kind of decide for yourself, what is really important? Do you want to be kind of easily and pleasantly distracted every single day and kind of creep forward very slowly? Or do you want to identify that as a weakness, set it aside so you can take giant steps forward and move faster than the rest of the herd and kind of get a head start? That's all up to you. Hard work, it requires focus and it requires time. And the distractions tend to just kind of creep in, especially when we have these really big tasks. Like, say you're watching this and you want to start a company. The whole concept is so overwhelming for you that when you sit down to put in real work to move towards starting a company, it's such an overwhelming task with so many items involved that your brain just feels panicked and it doesn't really know how to focus on anything to get started. And instead there's just this kind of feeling in your brain. That's normal. I still get that feeling when I have something really big that I need to do. Here's a couple of things that kind of I implement when I find myself getting too distracted. Phone on silent and just put it away. Humans we're addicted to our phones. There's various studies, I just checked this up. Some say that we touch our phones over 2,000 times a day. It's insane. It's an addiction. You want to fight that. So yeah, put it on silent, put it away. And another thing that I did was I changed the password to my Facebook to something that I didn't remember, so I couldn't actually access Facebook no matter how bad I wanted to. That was another process I did to kind of unlearn that addiction of just kind of opening a new browser in the middle of working and going to Facebook or doing whatever other bullshit that kind of easily distracts you and gives you that kind of pleasant feeling of instant reward. And another simple thing, I believe this works in Chrome on both Mac and PC, but something that I use very often is the F11 key, going full screen. It just covers your whole computer screen and you can't see anything else except the document that you're working on. I find that to be a nifty little tool to kind of just narrow in your focus on whatever it is that you're working on. Going back to those overwhelming tasks, those kind of really big tasks that make you almost dizzy. When you feel like that, when you feel there's a task that you don't even know how to start, try to break it down into smaller parts and attack the easiest parts of it. And it's what I always say, that emotions follow actions. Once you start working on whatever it was that you may have been postponing for so long, those emotions, that kind of motivation and the focus will kind of come with that. You just got to get your foot in the door and then you get the ball rolling, and before you know it, you're in super focus mode and things are going great. Another thing that works for me is blocking out time, making sure that the other people don't distract me. That is actually the reason why I've spent so many weekends at the office, because I found that was when I was able to get some of the most important and some of the biggest tasks kind of done and out of the way, because I knew that there won't be anybody at the office to distract me, that I can just be in my own place, in my own zone, and just kind of take the time to really creatively think about how to solve problems and kind of just enjoying the process rather than being stressed by it. That's what works for me. Working on weekends, I loved it. No meetings, no time constraints, just a whole day to think creatively on how to work towards achieving my goals and everything that I wanted to do. To sum up, understand that it is normal. We're all human, we all get distracted. Start catching yourself on these things and start knowing that everybody kind of goes through this, and realize that the people who make the biggest strides in life towards success and their own goals are the ones who identify their weaknesses and try to, either minimize the influence of those weaknesses or completely eliminate those weaknesses from their life. Because that is what success is being really honest with yourself, understanding how you work, how your mind works, and just kind of on a daily basis knowing how to overcome that to do what it is that you really should be doing, that takes you closer to your goals and the realization of your dreams, rather than taking the path of least resistance and just allowing yourself to be distracted. It's your choice. It is an addiction, but it is still your choice not to eliminate that addiction. So be mindful of that. I hope that's of use to you, and I will see you next time.